celebrating Black entrepreneurship during Black History Month. Hey, thanks for joining me. I'm Amir Makupson. I'm here in the Hustle exhibit at the Detroit Historical Museum, which is celebrating Black entrepreneurship. But as you know, at CBS Detroit with Michigan Made, we celebrate small business every week. But over the next 30 minutes, we're going to take a deep dive into some local Black entrepreneurs who are selling their products all across the state, the country, and the world. We'll take a look at the people who started the business in the past and introduce you to those who are keeping that legacy going.
10 years ago, Miranda Moy made a big decision.
I actually big chopped my hair. That's how I started this natural journey.
A journey that, at that time, wasn't easy.
Immediately, I found that there were not a lot of hair products on the market and on the shelves that offer what I wanted to offer.
So she created what she needed.
So I had to figure out like which kind of products to put in my hair that would like moisturize my hair and make my hair thrive. I have aloe vera in there, I have vitamin E, I have castor oil, I have peppermint oil. So a lot of those natural ingredients that you can find like in your home are in our products.
Going from here to here took about a decade, but Miranda says that while she was on this journey, getting back to her roots elevated her spirit.
Hair is a big part of our identity and how we see ourselves and how other people view and see ourselves. So I think being able to embrace your hair helps you just embrace yourself overall. And I think that is really important to be able to identify with when it comes to your hair.
Since then, Miranda has bottled her creations under the name Moy Hair Essentials, no longer with just herself in mind.
I think just being able to support women, specifically Black women, is what keeps me going and just always is what inspires me.
Hoping to make the next woman's journey back to basics much easier.
Black hair is very versatile, so it should be able to straighten and it should be able to be curly. Like that is the beauty in our hair, that our hair can do both. So I think having the right products that is going to be able to protect your curls while being able to be versatile with your hair is very important as well.
So do me a favor and read this page.
Okay. This one right here?
Yes, read that
All
page
right.
for me.
When we're together, our skin color doesn't mean a thing because we know it's what's inside that matters the most. Color should never keep two people from being close.
Now tell me what about that is offensive or should be banned.
Exactly.
Grand Blanc mom, Latasha Perry, has caused a few temper tantrums after releasing books, she says, to empower children of color to celebrate their differences. It all started after her daughter was teased about her hair during a ballet class.
She had the two little curly Afro puffs, went to class, was so excited, and got teased about her hair. So she was like, I don't want to go back to that class. Those kids are mean. So I'm like, okay, what can I do to just kind of empower her and encourage her and make her feel good about herself? And I started searching for books. And I'm like, wait a minute, there aren't that many books with kids that look like my kids. And so I'm like, I'm going to write my own.
500,000 copies later, Latasha's Like Mine series has taken off. She's expanded her products from books to apparel, accessories, and more. But her attempt at inclusivity caused a great divide, landing her on the banned book list.
It's funny because on one hand, they're trying to say these things aren't happening anymore. And then you go and you ban a book like Skin Like Mine that is doing, it's encouraging not only self-love, but just encouraging loving everybody for who they are. And so you are kind of sending a message to kids that one group is maybe better than the other.
For Latasha, being banned is a badge of honor.
So I felt proud to be on that list, especially because I'm on that list with some amazing some legends, you know what I mean? So we got to continue to push harder. And if the schools remove it, I always say, parents, we have to do our job and make sure we are exposing our kids to these things at home.
In the end, Latasha says she only wants for all kids like hers, mine, and yours to have the same happy ending to their stories.
You can't live in a world where all you see is one race and think that's it. And you kind of tend to think that is the superior race because that's all you see. And so the more they see themselves on products. They see themselves on the toy shelves and inside of books and on commercials and everywhere. The more that they see, oh, I am beautiful and I do belong and I do fit in.
Now, a trip down memory lane. Before black hair care became mainstream, the kinks and curls were celebrated. Elaborate styles and designs were turned into entertainment. Detroit Hair Wars started in 1985 with popular DJ David Humphreys.
It's like up at the top, you got the churches and you got the hair. And those are the two biggest things really. But I think hair is even bigger because everybody who goes to church gets the hair done, but a lot of people who don't go to church, they get the hair done too. So that's why I kind of gauge it like that. So everybody's kind of, hair is important. You know, some people don't go outside if they don't have their hair done. It's important. It came to when I was doing party. I was a DJ and a party promoter. So a lot of hairstyles would come to my parties. You know, we would have different gimmicks. Hat night, you know, leg night, you know, multiple height night. You know, everything was a gimmick. I used to be a gimmick promoter. So I said, we gotta do something with hair, you know, because I got these hairstyles. They come to the parties. They trying to promote. They don't have an outlet. They don't have a platform. So I said, okay, I'm gonna start letting you the hairstyles. Put your stuff. I'm gonna stop the party, give you a few minutes, and show everybody what you got. And then, you know, so we started Exotic Hair Night, and it was supposed to be 4 weeks. It's 39 years later. Hair Wars is hair entertainment, and it's all about hair and what people can do with hair. Different things they can create with hair. Some of the things are not every day. What you can wear to the store, wear to school or work. It's a challenge, it's creativity for hairstylists to just go crazy. Well, the signature hairstyles would be the helicopter. That's the one everybody wanted. And it was in 1996, we were on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. That's what kicked out the helicopter. We have a reputation. You mentioned Detroit, you know, ears go up. They want to hear what you're saying. And the thing about it, we do what we do. And we're aggressive, right? So other cities, they have people who do hair real well, but they don't have the people to put them together to do things.
The celebration continues after the break. Don't go away. Welcome back. The show's not over. Let's take a look at more of the past and the present with Black entrepreneurship.
We spend so much time trying to build a career, we forget to build ourselves.
Transitioning to the C-suite wasn't easy for Cecilia Rutherford.
One of the things going into the C-suite, I was angry. I was angry at showing up, not feeling appreciated. It's a lonely place, and especially for African American women, you don't get to look across the boardroom or any room and see people that look like you.
Her concern? How she was being perceived by her non-black colleagues.
Because we worked so hard, you fought in school, you fought to get the grades, you fought to get the job. So when you get up there, it's just like, all I know how to do is fight. Well, at some levels, you fight yourself right out the door.
That fight within is called emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence is being able to have an emotion in the moment and name it, validate it, ask yourself, what do I want to do with this emotion?
Kathy Mott is a leadership coach. She helps people evaluate their emotional intelligence through a workbook and an app called My Journey Within.
We experience over 400 emotions in a day. Most people can only name 4 to 6. And then taking a moment to explore them is very valuable, but people don't know they can have choices. What do I want to do with this emotion?
Correctly identifying emotions and further deciding what you want to do with them helps people better gauge reactions.
So within the app, for each emotion, there's an article attached. You tap on it, and the article talks about how you can manage and move through and deal with this emotion. So it really is a comprehensive resource to really help people not only name their emotions and understand what they're experiencing, but offering resources to help them move through as well.
That help made all the difference in the world for Cecilia.
What emotional intelligence done for me is reintroduce me to me. I am able to walk in emotional intelligence at my workplace. It's okay to be able to deliver and be educated and not be intimidated and not show up as the angry black woman, because I didn't have to react to everything. Emotional intelligence taught me how to respond, how to take a room that's in chaos and bring it back to what's really going on. Because it's our emotions that trigger some type of reaction. All you can give is what you have, and all we have is emotions.
For people like me, we live in the intersection of what it is to be a black and brown skinned person and a person who's attracted to the same gender.
LGBT Detroit was born out of necessity.
It was heavily inspired by the civil rights movement, pretty much the modern mid-century movement. Soon after that, gays wanted space. Like any group of people, wanted space just to be free.
But LGBT Detroit is about more than just space to be free. As one of the longest running black organizations of its kind, it's also about advocacy.
There was a need for activism around the HIV epidemic. And a number of people were forming any kind of institution, support group, any kind of service to provide housing, food, health care, mental health care, all around people that were diagnosed HIV positive and unfortunately dying. This company is rooted from 80s activism.
And community.
You come to LGBT Detroit to get filled up. Like, especially you think a lot of people in this community like are told that they don't matter, are cast away, and just like really reduced. So I would say that LGBT Detroit is an inflation machine that fills you with the substances you already are filled of and helps you recognize your potential and your worth in the community.
LGBT Detroit offers support and resources for people who otherwise may have nowhere else to turn.
Religion, social conditioning, fear, those are the reasons why there's so many issues, there's so many problems, and not knowing history, not knowing that trans people, gender variant people have always existed. If you knew history, if we were teaching history, then we would know that, but we don't teach history. In fact, even now, they're legislating against teaching real history. So these are the problems that we have because we can't talk openly and honestly.
Here, the conversations are plentiful.
You have to realize, especially within black culture, and you put it in LGBT black culture, that intersection, a lot of our history is not in books. So we have these older generations who are like pouring into us. So it's a space where you can like learn, but it's also a place where like change is inspired.
And the love is limitless.
Yes, there are some days in some families where it's hard, and that's why we're here to help.
Looking now at the health history of Black Detroit. Dunbar Hospital was the first hospital in Detroit for Black residents. It began as the home of real estate developer Charles W. Warren in 1892. By World War I, the neighborhood and city were transitioning. Most wealthy families had moved to the suburbs, replaced in many cases by Black families who had come to work in the war industries. By 1917, more than 30,000 Black people lived in Detroit, although it was severely segregated. The city's white hospitals denied Blacks care, and there were only 30 Black physicians in town. So the doctors formed the Allied Medical Society, which acquired the Warren House and converted it into Dunbar Memorial Hospital in 1917. The hospital provided care, sponsored nurses' training classes, and offered internships for graduate students. In the late 1970s, the Detroit Medical Society purchased the house. They have recently renovated the building, converting it into their headquarters and a museum. The house is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. We're wrapping things up after the break. Stay with us. Thanks for sticking with us. I'm Amir Makeup-Sin at the Hustle exhibit in the Detroit Historical Museum. Now, we've taken a look at quite a few Black businesses across Detroit, but we're not done yet. Before we go, check these out.
There was a struggle finding clothes. It's always been hard. I've been pretty much this height since I was like 12 or 13. I'm 6'2", by the way. So it was just always a struggle. I mean, God bless my parents trying to find me clothes.
Eva Toby turned a lifelong struggle.
One day I was just so frustrated, and I saw this quote that said, "In the absence of resources, creativity is born." And that was kind of God's way of like, remember that dream you had almost 16 plus years ago? Pick it back up.
Into a triumph.
Me, I am my own brand. I am my own model. And you'll even see me on the website, me and another young lady. And that's another thing to kind of give people a different perspective.
As owner and designer of Extended Threads, she created an athleisure line for tall women.
The positive thing is that people were so excited for it. Like there was really a need, like yes, finally something for us, you know, by us, like tall women. That's what I tell people. I'm like, I'm literally my own customer, like just really filling that gap.
Which is not to say those longer inseams and extra fabric didn't come without a struggle.
That's one thing that I have noticed just as a Black woman, the funding and the resources that are available, because we need the funding in order to grow the business and purchase more inventory. And as we're getting more feedback and people are like, you should have this and that, and what about this? It's like, yeah, we need capital to get that started. So that's what I would say is one of the challenges in growing a business as a Black woman.
She says with faith and persistence, she prevailed.
I really just thank God. My faith is really what keeps me grounded. Just really putting everything before God, asking for direction. And of course, with just the support of the growing community, it's been really exciting.
And now she's defying those short-sighted notions that cute stops at 5'6".
To know, because it was a lot of hard work in building it, you know, taking it from the idea that came back in 2022 to actually releasing it November 28th of 23, that makes me feel good. Like, okay, like, all right, I'm on it. I did all right. Like.
I think that energy that we have, that we sell to the world, is that hustler mentality.
Two friends, one goal.
I think that energy that we have, that we sell to the world, is that hustler mentality.
Mark Russ and Sean Williams, two of the three masterminds behind apparel brand Detroit versus Everybody, say the idea for the brand stemmed from some tough times in Motown back around 2012.
The city was going through a lot. So we were bankrupt. Actually bankrupt. The city was actually bankrupt. And there was like some political corruption scandals happening in the city, and then we were coming out of the recession. It was like there was a negative connotation with, or a negative association, anything with Detroit.
To Russ and Williams, though, the bad news surrounding their city felt like an attack.
It's Detroit versus everybody.
So they pushed back.
Like that Detroit is a place that does cool things and that has good people. We're not the murder cap and all that stuff.
But now that pushback is growing.
I think the Versus brand is on a path to grow exponentially over the next couple of years. With that growth, there needs to be supporting systems in place, and I want to own that.
And they're taking the community with them.
We're officers for the people. And so we can make all the money in the world, but we have to give something back to the people that support us or our community that we're in.
To give back, the brand has expanded, taking on social issues and soon opening up creative space for other designers, because it's not Detroit versus Detroit.
2 years we're looking at, this will be a design hub for apparel. It will be a retail store for the DVE and Versus Everybody brand. It'll also serve as a store that will allow other creators to come in and be represented in their own space. But like a community store. Exactly. And for me, the biggest thing and what I'm really pushing for and what we're closing in on is back there is ample space to create an on-demand manufacturing facility.
It's Detroit versus everybody else. So as you just saw inside, there is still a little bit of work to do, but the business should be up and running in about a year.
7, 6. Vibe Ride is the best group fitness class studio ever. Everything we do is about group fitness, and it's about community, and it's about feeling good and having fun while working out.
Burning calories in Detroit is a vibe.
Our cycling classes to our non-cycling classes, it's all rhythmic. It's all about beats and music and different types of music. And we incorporate fun in that by playing off of that. So our cycle studio is lights and it's DJ booth and it's music videos. So you get so engulfed in the vibe, pun intended, that you almost forget that you're working out.
One thing Vibe Ride owner Latricia Wilder does not forget, though, her sense of community.
I can't say I'm about community and only feed myself.
Wilder is an advocate for togetherness.
We believe that you heal in community, not isolation. We are the community. Like, we are made up of all over this city. And many of us love this city. Like myself, I bleed Detroit. I've been in old Detroit, new Detroit, whatever Detroit it is, whatever rendition. You know, I've been downtown since I was in the 90s at Cass. Like, I think that if you live it, it'll come. Like, people feel the energy. People feel that vibe.
And Detroiters supporting Detroiters. In the lobby, items for sale by other local small business owners.
It was very hard to get downtown as a small business. Very, very hard. And I'm a firm believer that if you get space, you're supposed to give space.
Space for having a good ride?
Cycling is only as good as the class and the teacher and the music.
With a good vibe.
Everything we do is a party.
In Detroit, Amir Jacobson.
Thanks so much for joining us for this special edition of Michigan Made, celebrating Black entrepreneurship at the Detroit Historical Museum's Hustle exhibit. Don't forget, you can catch Michigan Made every Monday on CBS Detroit. Until then, we'll see you later.